Kills the tortilla ambush in Lubbock and knocks off Tech. Next up for the Horns, they welcome the high-powered West Virginia offense to DKR. All this and much more coming up on College Crossfire.
Where the hell's the rest of it?
Where's the rest of it?
Taylor's not even here to defend himself. I'm so excited.
Just talk loud. Go.
Good evening and welcome into tonight's episode of College Crossfire. No costumes this week, but we hope you enjoyed our Halloween show last week. On tonight's panel, we have last week's reigning champion and veteran panelist, Peter Sblendorio. Not dressed as Augie today, but Pete, how you doing?
I'm good. It feels a little weird being in street clothes, but I'm doing well.
Pete, the audience clearly loves you.
They missed the costume.
Definitely. In the middle, we have making her first ever appearance on College Crossfire, Allie Fleming. Allie, how's it going?
It's going well, representing the women on tonight's panel.
Some love for the audience too. Glad to have you on. Last but not least, we have Jake Loessin. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Jake?
You are, sir.
Alrighty, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, glad to have you on. We got two newcomers here. Pete, the veteran panelist. Let's get right into it with some Texas football talk. Longhorns kept their hopes of becoming bowl eligible alive after last week's win over in-state rival Texas Tech. And for the first time all season, the Horns had a 100-yard rusher with Malcolm Brown accumulating 116 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. After Quandre Diggs knocked out backup quarterback Patrick Mahomes, the Texas defense shut down the Tech offense, holding them to just 1 touchdown. The rest of the game, guys, Tech clearly not the class of the Big 12, but what does this win mean for the Horns, and is there anything positive that they can take from beating a pretty bad Tech team? Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the only takeaway is the fact that they won. Honestly, I wouldn't buy too much into it. Here's the deal. Texas Tech has allowed 35 points to 6 of 9 opponents this year. Texas scored 34 points, so they're right in that class. But when you look a little further, the Longhorns scored 34. The only teams to score fewer against Tech, UT El Paso and Kansas. You don't want to be in that class. They could have taken much more advantage against that. Plus, they're playing against a third-string quarterback in Vincent Testaverde. He didn't really look like his dad, Vinny Testaverde, the former NFL Pro Bowler out there. He looked more like Vinny Testaverde in his Cowboys days, in his 40s. I wouldn't buy too much into it. Look, it's a win. It's a win. Wow. You need to play better than that against better teams. That's one of the worst teams in the Big 12.
Okay, but nothing negative, nothing positive.
Yeah, the fact that they won a game, that's positive, for sure.
Okay, Allie?
Jeez, Pete, leave something for the rest of us. I agree. Tech is not the class of the Big 12, but when you're 3-5, getting another win at 4-5, that makes your record a lot better, or it makes the outcome. We still have a glimmer of bowl hope now. I mean, I know we have a tough schedule with West Virginia and TCU coming up, but I mean, it got the run game going a little bit. Tyrone Swoops has not thrown an interception in the past 2 games, so I mean, we have a little momentum going.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Swoops threw what was almost equivalent to an interception with that horrible fumble.
But it wasn't.
True. All right, Allie, good stuff there. Jake?
Yeah, I think for any team that's 3-5, a win is a win, like they said, it's needed. But what I liked was that Tyrone Swoops really opened up. He threw for 221 yards of passing and a touchdown. He's really becoming more confident as a quarterback. And the O-line really opened up the gates for Malcolm Brown. Like you said, 116 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. And that really built the confidence for the offense. And I just believe that we're going the right direction with the Charlie Strong era. It's baby steps, so.
Yeah, definitely. All good stuff there, guys. I'm going to start everyone out with a point on this one. Moving on to Texas's
bartender, round of applause.
Hey, all good points there. But guys, this week, Texas will take on number 23, West Virginia. The Mountaineers are 6-3 and had their 4-game winning streak snapped last week after losing a heartbreaker at home to TCU. This game marks another chance for Texas to get their first meaningful win of the Charlie Strong era. So guys, how does Texas match up with West Virginia, and what are the keys to victory if they want any chance of upsetting the number 23 Mountaineers? Allie?
Okay, so I don't really think that Texas has that big of a chance against West Virginia. I'll just put it out there.
Agree with you there.
Yeah. But obviously Texas, I think the defense is going to play their usual game. I think they're going to play well. I think that we're just waiting for that consistency on offense, which is getting redundant saying it so many times, honestly. But I think a big deal is also covering Kevin White as the wide receiver. I mean, he has 1,075 yards, 8 touchdowns. I think definitely neutralizing him will be a big deal for the Texas defense. But beyond that, it's all up to the Texas offense to finally get some consistency going.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kevin White's got to be a big part of that game plan for Charlie Strong and Vance Bedford on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, he's the 3rd leading receiver in the nation right now. As of last week, going to the TCU game, he was the #1 receiver in the nation. Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, it's not a good matchup. West Virginia comes to this game, they're ranked 23rd. Like she said, Kevin White, 1,075 yards receiving. Really, I think the keys to victory are the defense is going to have to get in Clint Trickett's face. If he's, doesn't have pressure and we don't give him happy feet, he's going to be making big plays all day. They put up 36 points a game. They average 36 points a game. And, Texas, to hang offensively, we put up 22 points a game. So you're not going to score points, so you better stop them.
Yeah, definitely. Pete, what do you think? Finish this off.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a poor matchup, but then I looked into it. Did you know Texas leads the Big 12 in pass defense, and by a lot, too? I think the key to the game is keeping the defense fresh, because if they're fresh, they're going to be able to shut down this pass defense at least a little bit. We saw what they did against Bryce Petty. I think if the running game can keep going like they did against Tech, build off that where they had more than 200 yards, and keep the ball out of Clint Trickett's hands, that's going to be a huge deal for that defense. That defense is going to be a lot more energized. The offense is going to take some more time off the clock, and that's going to give a lot less opportunities for Trickett to beat them with White and the rest of those talented receivers.
Definitely. Well, and what do you think is going to be the biggest part of keeping that defense fresh? Because they don't necessarily have the numbers of guys, that can play out there all the time. I mean, is it going to be sustaining drives on offense, or what's it going to be?
I think that's going to be the key. I think it's going to be getting important yardage on first down, getting big runs from Malcolm Brown and Jonathan Gray. I think if they're able to sustain drives, that keeps Trickett off of the field, and that's a huge deal. Look at what the Cowboys do with DeMarco Murray. He keeps them off the field. That's why their defense, maybe not that talented, is able to do a little bit better. I think that's what the Longhorns need to do this week.
All right, definitely. I think I'm going to give Allie the point on this one. Mention that matchup with the Texas secondary and Kevin White. It'll be interesting to see who they put on Kevin White. Also Mario Alford, too. Yeah. And West Virginia got a good offense all around. Everyone mentioned Trickett. Jake, that was a good point about putting pressure on Trickett, too. They've also got a solid run game as well, averaging about 180 yards on the ground. So not too shabby there. But I think I'm going to give Allie the point on this one. Now, guys, big-time college football playoff implications this Saturday in Fort Worth when number 7 Kansas State and number 6 TCU face off. Both teams control their own destiny, and if either can finish the regular season perfect, they'll more than likely get a bid to that college football playoff at the end of the year. With that being said, who you guys taking in this one? Jake, we'll start with you.
I got to go with TCU. They come in, thank you, number 2 offense in the country, putting up 48 points a game. You saw what they did to Iowa State, put up 82 points. I just believe that Trevon Boykin plays well. They're going to have a good day. Even against, in Morgantown, they found a way to win. Trevon Boykin wasn't playing well. Defense stepped up, still finds a way to win. This team finds ways to win.
Go Frogs.
Okay. Taking the Horned Frogs there, Pete.
Yeah, I'm taking TCU as well. I don't even think it's going to be that close. TCU, like he said, second in the nation in scoring. Kansas State is 10 points less per game in scoring. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. Their defense has been their strength this year, but keep in mind they haven't played Baylor. They haven't played TCU. Those are the 2 best offenses in the nation. And they haven't played West Virginia, who's a really good offense as well. I think that at the end of the year, we're going to see them kind of middle of the pack as far as defense goes. When they start playing these more high-powered offenses, they're not going to be able to keep up on offense with TCU at all. I don't think it's even going to be close.
Okay, so you're taking the Horned Frogs?
All in.
Allie, Horned Frogs too?
Okay, I'm going to disagree. No, I think Kansas State.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, the Horned Frogs have capitalized on turnovers. They've scored 101 points off turnovers, and they were able to get 5 from West Virginia and still won by a field goal. And actually, Kansas State is 7th in the nation with least turnovers committed. So, and Jake Waters, only quarterback in the Big 12 with how many interceptions? 0.
All right. Good stuff there. I think I am going to lean towards Peter and Jake here with TCU at home. K-State, a very good team. Wouldn't be surprised if they do come into Fort Worth, pull off that All right, wouldn't really be an upset, 7-6, but if they do come out and get that victory. But I'm going to go with Pete and Jake on this one. It's going to be time for our first break of the night. Up next, our panelists will tell you who they think is the best quarterback in the NFL. Stay tuned. Thanks for sticking with us tonight on College Crossfire. Peter, Allie, Jake joining me on tonight's panel. Guys, thanks for being here. We're all tied up at 2 right now. And we're going to open this round with some baseball talk. Might be the last time we get to talk about the MLB for a while with the World Series over. Earlier this week, the league announced finalists for all of its regular season awards. We're going to focus on MVP and Cy Young, though. Who deserves these prestigious awards in each league, guys? Pete, we'll start with you.
Okay. American League, Mike Trout for sure. It's been a long time coming. He's been the runner-up the last 2 years, and rightfully so. Miguel Cabrera was very good, but Mike Trout is the best player in baseball as far as offense, defense, running the bases. He's an unbelievable player. Led the league in RBIs. He certainly deserves it. Cy Young is going to go to Felix Hernandez. I think he also is very deserving. He was the ace of a staff that almost made the playoffs despite not being as talented as some other teams. 15-6, ERA near 2. Dominant season. NL, really easy answer. MVP and Cy Young, both going to Clayton Kershaw. I think he's the best player in the National League. I think he's dominant. And the numbers he was able to put up without 1 month of playing, he played only 5 months, unbelievable. Historically great.
Yeah, definitely. And lucky for Kershaw that they vote on this before the playoffs
Right,
start.
sure. And it is a regular season award.
Yeah. Allie?
You took the words out of my mouth. Kershaw, definitely. I mean, yeah.
Sweep in the NL for Kershaw?
Yes.
Okay, AL, who you got? MVP?
Mike Trout.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, runner-up, it's his time. It's due after 2 years runner-up. Definitely.
And then Cy Young in the AL. You got one?
Same as Pete.
Same as Pete? Felix Hernandez? All right.
Sorry.
Jake?
Yeah, National League for sure. Clayton Kershaw all the way. Cy Young and MVP, no question. American League, though, I think for the Cy Young, I got to go with Corey Kluber. Thank you, Reese.
Got one applause.
One applause.
Indians fan.
Yeah, you know, coming in, he's 21-3, 1.77 ERA. Yeah, great. Guys had a great season. MVP, I got to go with Michael Brantley. Sticking in Cleveland. Go Indians.
Yeah, are you a Cleveland guy by chance, if we may ask?
No, I'm not. I'm not a Cleveland native.
Okay.
But I just thought they had a good run this year, and I got to stick with my Cleveland family.
I mean, AL, Cy Young, and MVP is some bold statements there for Cleveland.
The team that didn't make the playoffs.
I know. But
I think I'm going to give Pete the point on this one. Got Kershaw sweeping the NL. Well, everyone had Kershaw sweeping the NL. And then Pete had Trout. I think it definitely is his time. Felix Hernandez, Pete, you're going to get the point on this one. Now, back to football now. We're going to keep the award theme going for a little while, though, and we're going to crown our Crossfire midseason most valuable quarterbacks in the NFL. A lot of guys lighting it up, but who's been the best QB to this point? Allie.
Wait, so are we doing best quarterback or most valuable? Because that's different in my opinion.
Okay, we'll go with the most valuable theme because we were going with the award theme, so most valuable.
Geez, that's close between Andrew Luck and Tom Brady then.
Okay.
But I think the Colts are not who they are without Andrew Luck. You look at him. I mean, he's thrown passes to 8 different receivers, leading in yards. I mean, he's on a record pace with yards per throw.
Okay, definitely.
Sorry, yards per game.
Allie, I know you're a big Broncos gal. You're a big Peyton Manning gal, so really proud of you for not saying Peyton on this one. Thank you. Jake.
You know, I also got to go with Andrew Luck. 3,085 yards passing. He's on a pace to break Peyton Manning's 2013 record of 5,477 yards passing in a single season. The guy's just on fire right now, and Colts, like she said, Colts wouldn't be who they were without Andrew Luck.
He is taking advantage of the easiest schedule in the NFL, though. You'd have to say that.
Definitely, and I do know that my man Pete right here definitely will have something to say about that.
Yeah,
Pete, what's up?
Look, Andrew Luck's having a great season. I'm all in on Tom Brady, okay? Tom Brady's having an unbelievable season, right? Everybody was counting him out at the beginning of this year. Everybody was saying maybe he's lost some arm speed. You know what? Right now they're 7-2, best record in the AFC, and that's only because of Tom Brady. And you know what? He doesn't have 4 receivers to throw to. He has Rob Gronkowski, who wasn't healthy for 6 weeks of this season. And here's one stat for you. Right now, Andrew Luck's averaging 2.9 touchdowns per interception. Tom Brady, 7.3. That's 3 times better. All in on Brady. Nobody does more for his team. He's the best quarterback in the league today, still.
What about Romo?
Somebody calling for Romo in the audience. Could have made a case for that guy maybe before the injury, though. Reese in the audience is loving it, but I think I'm going to have to go with Pete and Tom Brady on this one. Pete, you know, I hate giving you back-to-back points.
Who are the
I really don't.
without Andrew Luck? They are nobody.
But I mean, who are the Patriots without Tom Brady?
They're
though?
Julian Edelman and Brandon LaFell. Pass.
Well, Rob Gronkowski, too. In
Yes.
fairness.
Gronk.
Sure.
No, and I just think with Tom Brady, so impressive that they get blown out by the Chiefs. Believe they're 2-2 at that point, and then everyone's counting him out. Tom's not as prolific as he used to be. Belichick's lost it. The Patriots have just lost their magic. And then he comes back and wins 5 straight, blows out the Broncos this past week. I'm going to have to go with Pete and Tom Brady on this one. But still, a lot of football left to be played. Now, guys, let's move on to the NBA for a second now before we go to our next break. Even without Kevin Durant at the beginning of the season, the Thunder looked like they still might have a chance to challenge the Spurs for that top spot in the West. But now with serious injuries to Russell Westbrook and Perry Jones, looks like the Thunder could be in for a long year. Now that OKC seemingly won't be able to challenge the Spurs, who else in the West has the best shot of dethroning the defending champs? Jake?
I got to go with my hometown Houston Rockets. On a roll right now. Five straight in a row. Chandler Parsons trade. Everybody thought, oh, this isn't good. Trevor Ariza, bringing defensive intensity that the Rockets clearly lacked, and he's just gelling with the team better. And I guess we'll see tomorrow when the Spurs and Rockets tip off in Houston.
Hey, Ariza, bringing that defensive mentality, that defensive toughness, also wet from outside.
Yes, sir.
Got a sweet J from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
Pete.
I like Golden State. I like Golden State a lot, actually. Right now, this point of the season, it is early, second in the league in defense. Now, everybody knows they're a prolific scoring team. They have Steph Curry, they have Klay Thompson, they have David Lee. That's one of the best offenses in the league right there. But now they're starting to play defense. Steve Kerr has the guys buying in. And now with an open set like this, with the Thunder not having their star guys, why not Golden State? They have the star power. They've been young the last couple years. I think finally they're old enough to put it together and make a run.
Okay, Pete, I know you were big on the LA Clippers, didn't say anything about them, but if Allie doesn't mention them, we'll get back to you. You can talk about the Clippers, but Allie, who do you got?
I'm going to mention the Clippers.
Okay.
I mean, I know
Come
the
with
West is packed. NBA power rankings, 8 of the top 10 are in the West. It's packed. So I definitely agree with the Golden State. They have a shot. But I think the Clippers, I mean, come on. They bolstered their bench in the offseason. They had Blake Griffin been working on his jump shot. I mean, he's trying to make a run for MVP. Who knows? But he's definitely their headline player. And yeah.
Okay. Nobody mentioned the Blazers though. We got any love for the Blazers?
Yeah, I was thinking about Portland, and Portland's fourth in the league in defense, actually. I don't love their bench, though.
Don't love their bench?
Not a lot of depth off the bench.
All right, but I like that 1-2 punch with Damian Lillard and lifetime Longhorn LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, it might be the first in the league now.
Allie, you got anything on the Blazers? Anyone else?
I did look at them, but my 2 were the Clippers and Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
And then maybe the Grizzlies.
Okay, yeah, Grizzlies, hot start so far. Jake.
LaMarcus Aldridge, always great. Not a very deep bench, like Peter said.
Okay, definitely. Hey, I never thought I would say this, but I am liking Houston right now. And Allie, I never thought I'd say this either. I am also liking the Clippers. Pete, I also just couldn't give you back-to-back points.
Right.
Good argument for the Warriors there, but
That's all right.
I still think they might be a little bit too young. First-year head coach and Steve Kerr.
All right.
Not sold on them yet, but hey, I think I am sold on the Clippers. Maybe the Rockets. So Allie and Jake are going to get a point. Time for our last break of the night. Coming up next, we'll crown a winner in our rapid-fire round. Stay tuned. It's College Crossfire. Back here on College Crossfire. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's get a quick score update. Before we continue, we got Pete, the defending champion, in the lead with 4. Allie and Jake, the newcomers, tied up with 3. But guys, it's rapid fire. Everything counts for double now, so let's get right into it. Texas basketball opens their season next Friday, and the Longhorns are getting some more love this year than they did last year. The Horns are ranked in the preseason top 10 for the first time since 2009, and point guard Isaiah Taylor even made the cover of this Sports Illustrated issue right here. Now, making the cover of SI, pretty big deal. Further proves, how much hype there really is surrounding the program last year. Now, guys, all of this attention, is it coming a little bit too soon, or you think the Horns are going to be able to live up to the hype? Anybody jump in? It's rapid fire.
I think with a great recruit, Miles Turner, I think the time is now. They should seize the opportunity. Rick Barnes is a great coach, still has a lot left in the tank. I definitely think that we're going to live up to the hype.
Okay, so you said time is now. I mean, you seemed a little bit unsure there. Are they going to be able to live up to the hype?
I think they're going to be able to live up to the hype, sir.
Okay, Peter.
Yeah, I think they can definitely live up to the hype because they have so much more size than most of the other teams in the Big 12, and I think that's a huge deal. They have 3 guys who can score and rebound in their starting lineup, a couple more guys on the bench. It comes down to the guard play, but I really like Isaiah Taylor and Kendall Clancy this year. I think they're going to both step up from what they played last year, and both were pretty good last year.
Okay, maybe yeah, Kendall Yancey.
Yeah, he's been 500 made threes a day this offseason.
Yeah.
You heard it.
I did hear it. I was at Basketball Media Day.
Yeah.
Not really sure if I'm buying it.
I'm trusting him.
All right, Allie.
I'd say this year's got to be the year. With our number 2 recruit in the nation last year, and we haven't, who knows how long he's going to stick at UT, honestly, I think.
Sure, probably not more than a year.
Right. I mean, I think we're going to live up to the hype this year. I think we're going to be, top 10, but
What about
I don't know how long he's going to Yeah.
Well, Pete, you're buying in, right? Seems like everyone's buying in.
Yeah, I think they are. I think it's going to come down to the guard play, personally. If the guards can play well, that front court's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, and definitely the most depth that we've seen this Texas basketball team have in a while.
Yeah.
Everyone's buying in. I guess I'm going to buy in too. I'm going to, cut the cynical attitude for a little bit on Texas sports.
Yeah.
Now that football's probably over, everyone's getting a point here. Audience is loving it. NFL news out of Houston. Now the 4-5 Texans have decided to bench quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick in favor of the younger Ryan Mallett. Good move or bad move by Coach O'Brien to start Mallett here? Anybody jump in?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say Fitz has a sick beard.
He does.
But
And I can tell you have a sick beard too, so you're definitely a beard guy.
thank you, sir. No, I think it's a good move. Ryan Mallett's a big guy out of Arkansas, 6'7", rocket arm. I think it's time for change. Fitz wasn't really getting it done. Again, I got to rep my hometown, H-Town. So good move, Coach O'Brien. Good move.
Yeah, and Tom Brady backups, you look at Brian Hoyer, you also look at Matt Castle. Over the years, they've done all right. None of them ever really, learned under Tom and turned out to be Tom, or like him at all, really. But they've at least been decent quarterbacks, so that could be good for Houston.
Yeah.
Pete, Allie?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. But you know what? I think that's all they need. That's a team with a good defense. They have a #1 receiver in Andre Johnson. They have one of the best running backs in Arian Foster. If they have a competent quarterback, somebody like Castle when he was with Kansas City, somebody like Hoyer now, that could be a playoff team in a pretty down AFC.
Okay, Allie?
This is getting kind of boring with me agreeing, but I'm going to agree. I mean, benching Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't think you have anything to lose. Like, benching Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think this is the right choice to put in.
Yeah, I mean,
shot. I mean, who knows what could,
You were talking about it with the Colts, in the same division as the Texans, one of the weaker divisions. So for them to be 4-5 right now, and Ryan Fitzpatrick not exactly lighting it up, statistically, probably a pretty good move. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to give everyone the point. And this last question is what it's really going to come down to. Couldn't decide on that one. Kind of tired of everyone agreeing here. But moving from Houston to Dallas, our last rapid fire comes courtesy of the Mavericks. Check out this Run DMC parody featuring Dirk, Chandler Parsons, and Monte Ellis. Check it out.
I wanted again, so I loaded up with some brand new friends.
Like me, CP, and the place to be. Left Houston so easily.
Monte Ellis, ask the fellas. Food talk trash because they jealous.
Wow. Really, all I have to say is wow after that. Wasn't really super impressed with, Dirk, Monte, Chandler Parsons on that one. But guys, who was the worst rapper on that one? I mean, or did you guys like it? Anybody?
Yeah, I actually really liked it. Look, I liked all those guys. No, I really liked it. I liked all those guys. They kind of reminded me of myself out there. Like, if I were to go rap with Dirk and stuff, I want to be in a video like that for sure.
Hey, Pete, I have a little more faith in your rapping ability than that, though. But Allie and Jake, let's hear from you guys.
It wasn't good, but it humanizes them. I mean, they're good at basketball, but it's like, oh look, they're really bad at this. I didn't think it was good at all.
I like that, Jake.
I thought Dirk dropped some pretty good flows. No. Honestly though, all bunch of white guys. It wasn't happening. Wasn't doing it for me.
All right, well, guys, we got a second question here for this question, and this one's going to decide it's what lifetime Longhorn, could be trio, could be a duo, could be one guy, or who would you want to see either do their own track or collab on a track? Some lifetime Longhorns.
Can I put myself in there with them?
Sure. I mean, I don't know your rapping ability. If you wanted to show us some raps, then
It's me with the McCoy brothers.
okay.
Yeah, it is.
All right, with Case and Colt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what are you guys singing? What's the vibe there?
Let's see. How about just
Hey,
we're
wait.
going to focus on college life because
Okay.
we're not going to talk about what happens after college.
Hey, but if you wanted to think about it real quick, I like that so far. We could come back to you.
Okay.
All right. You think
You're
of
saying
something?
I
Think of a
need
good
to give
rap.
them a chance. Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
I'm gonna say David Ash and Trey Newton, just because they both have something to share as far as the concussions, and they're just and it'll just be it'll be deep.
Yeah, I mean that would be more of like slam poetry. I think.
Yeah.
You know. Pete, what do you
All
got?
right, I don't mean to kind of go off somebody else's answer, but there was only one person who came to mind in this. Number 6, Case McCoy. Look, I've never seen a team rally around somebody's words as much as they've rallied around Case McCoy. That guy gets people pumped up. You listen to them, that guy can play. He has moxie. I want him. If I'm going to a rap battle, I'm dropping the mic with him. I'm all in. Case McCoy for
And
sure.
I'm making sure he has his golden hat on.
Okay.
I'm making sure he's got that.
This is-
Hey, we all got Colt's got like the chain. He's got the gold hat, and I got the grill.
This is too hard to decide. Pete, you know I have a soft spot in my heart for number 6,
Yeah.
but I think I'm going to have to go with Allie on this one. Taking both the McCoy brothers there, taking a Case, as we like to call Mox and Colt McCoy there. Allie's going to get her win. Allie, real quick, you got 20, 30 seconds of FaceTime. Go for it.
23 seconds?
No, 20 to 30. Anything you want.
You're wasting
Go for
them.
it.
Cows?
Hey, you could talk Peyton, you could talk UT football, anything you want.
Hey, don't give up on Peyton. He's the number. He was my pick for best quarterback in the NFL, but he's not the MVP. Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, definitely Peyton.
All right, well, Pete, Allie, Jake, thank you to all you guys for joining me on the show tonight. Allie, thank you, or not thank you, congratulations on getting your first win, though. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Thanks for tuning into another episode. As always, we'll be right back here, same place, same time next week. For everyone in the studio, Master Control, tonight's panel, and myself, have a good night. We'll see you next week.